So while we're waiting, I want to ask Viju a question before we get started. We'll have an official welcome in a moment. But Viju, are we still getting properties? Are you still showing properties?
I sold 2 properties today.
Oh, there you go. So
it's, you know, the week started out really bad. Well, last week too was kind of slow, but between yesterday and today, I've gotten at least 10 showings, and we got back 2 contracts.
Well, I think people are out there, and of course, we want to caution you wherever you're shopping or you're out looking at properties. Just mind the cautions that everyone's talking about, especially if you're alone looking at a property or with just one other person. It's okay. And I think with the remote closings will not be a problem. So I think we can move on with our business with a little bit of common sense.
And the remote closings is big. I think.
I did one. It was the greatest thing. It was just really neat to do it. So don't hesitate. It's very comfortable, and the security of it was pretty amazing. So I was very happy to do the remote closing. And so keep watching for our emails. Like I said, we'll do more meetings like this where we're not limited by a specific date now. And for those of you, by the way, who had signed up for our liens workshop, it is definitely on for tomorrow in this same format. In the morning, actually it's 6 p.m. It's 6 p.m. And tomorrow morning I'll put out an email for you to sign up. It's events.dreia.info, events.dreia.info. You can sign up for it, but I'll put it out in the morning because we're not limited by the venue now. All of you who would like to join can join us at 6 p.m. for the liens workshop. So I'll provide that first thing in the morning so you can register.
Shall we start?
Yeah, I think we're going to start. Hello, I'm Jim Pamplin.
Viju Kutungo.
Along with our partners in mentoring, Dave Dinkle and Nancy Dinkle, who are away tonight, but you will be hearing from Dave in just a moment. We want to welcome you. And I want to throw out a shout out to the Miami Shores Country Club, our home, and we want to see you there. But they were good enough to abate most of tonight's costs. So we're coming to you live from the Dreia offices. This is our conference room.
So welcome, and I want to give a shout out to Kevin that we have missed at our meetings for a few months, but I think he's online. So shout out, Kevin.
All right. Yeah, cheers, Kevin.
Cheers,
enjoy.
Kevin.
So right now, we're going to let you know that we'll be sending you emails about the other events we'll be doing very soon, and you can sit back and enjoy them the very same way. So now we're going to start with our regular routine at the meeting. So, let her rip.
Also, thank you to Danilo for all the tech work he's been doing behind the scenes.
And Francisco Mago Riafax is actually he's producing this event for us.
Hello, my name is Danny with RiaFax.com. RiaFax is a real estate information system where we offer you a diversity of potential deals in pre-foreclosures, for sale with equity, probates, tax delinquency, tired landlords, short sales, bank-owned properties, auctions, repairs for sale, and vacant properties. And last but not least, cash buyers and holders to create your very own buyer's list. RiaFax.com, the deal generator.
Hi, my name is Erica with Untitled Chapter. I hope that you and your family are taking the proper precautions and staying safe throughout this difficult time. Here at Creative, we're still processing our files. We specialize in short sales, double closings, and assignments. Our closings are taking place out of the office, and our mobile notaries are taking the proper precautions as well. If you have any questions, as always, we're available 24/7. You can feel free to contact us at 305-476-8733. And I also want to take a moment and thank Dreia for giving us this platform to be able to speak and communicate with our members and let them know that we are still up and running and available. Thank you.
We are A to Z Capital. Your one-stop shop for all types of mortgage loans. Whether you're looking for investment loans, owner-occupied, hard money, or cash-out refinances, we can help. Here at A to Z Capital, we offer loans for all of your investment and residence needs. Unlike others, we offer competitive fees and unbeatable hard money rates. Our 35-plus years of experience in analyzing and structuring real estate investments makes us right for you. Call us today at 561-609-6699.
Hi, I'm Jim Santiago, and I'm Reed Santiago with Independent Title, Florida's best title company. We're here to help all real estate professionals get your closings done. Like 1, 2, 3, come and flip some. A to B, B to C, we'll get all your deals done like a class action. Come to Independent Title, we get that Santiago satisfaction.
Converted, bashed, flooded, smashed, or contaminated, you need Adjuster Net. Well, it's January, February, March 17th. It's election day. I voted. We're all dealing with the effects of the coronavirus as our communities try and endeavor through this otherwise contamination, this plague upon our lands. Hopefully, you won't be affected by it. Hopefully, you won't have to deal with sick tenants or sick occupants of a commercial building or having to have your property cleaned or dealing with loss of use issues. But if you do, Adjuster Net is here. We're ready to take on your insurance carriers to make sure that you get paid everything that you're owed under the terms and conditions of your policy. It's great to see everybody participating in Dreia and staying informed as we continue to work through this coronavirus crisis and hopefully get back to our regular business of dealing in real estate and spending great time with our friends and our families. I wish you all good luck. I'm Michael Clayton with Adjuster Net, and when it's busted, I'll adjust it.
Good evening. This is Grace Dion with Paramount Residential Mortgage Group coming to you from my home office. Our company is open and operating. Our processors, underwriters, and closers are able to work from home, so we continue to work on files and close loans. With the feds dropping the rates, things have gotten very interesting. FHA has started to lower their rates, and conventional is expected to soon follow. This is a great time for you to consider refinancing. Give me a call at 786-488-8372 or email me at gdion@prmg.net. Thank you. Have a great evening and stay safe.
Hello, everybody at Dreia. We're here at Shop Savvy Direct Mail. First and foremost, we pray that everyone is doing well and is safe during these very difficult and troubling times. And we appreciate Dreia allowing us to do our promotion video via. So thank you, Dreia. We just want to let you know over here that we're here to support you any way we need to for any of your direct mail or printing needs. We are still open, running around the clock. If you're an investor, you're a real estate agent, we'd be more than happy to help you. You can contact us at 305-370-9308 or email us at info@shopsavvydirectmail.com. If you're looking for leads for probate, lis pendens, if you're looking for foreclosures, tax issues, anything in distress, please contact us. We print, we pull data, we design, we print mail for real estate agents, any contractors. And the good thing about it is over the next few weeks, everybody's going to be home, unfortunately, but they'll all be going to their mailboxes to read their mail. So either way, we hope everybody is safe. If you need our services, again, call us at 305-370-9308. You could also go to Instagram or Facebook. Our call name is Shop Savvy Direct Mail. You can see a lot of samples up there. Our clients, when they mail, our investors, when they mail, they're seeing about 20 calls per 1,000. We're seeing pre-foreclosures are on the rise, so there's some more distressed properties coming in, possibly a lot more over the next year if we dip into a recession based on all the numbers that are coming out. But again, if you need our help, please give us a call. Again, Shop Savvy Direct Mail, 305-370-9308. Thank you. Be safe.
If you're thinking about becoming a successful real estate investor, look no further. Dave Dinkle is the most knowledgeable real estate investor trainer and mentor in the country. Dave's team has over 120 plus years of real experience, and they have exactly what you need to start doing business in real estate immediately. We help you make actual offers with confidence on just the second day of your training, funding 100% of the money for your deal to happen. You'll even be shown exactly how to independently close your own deals. You'll learn the trade secret prospecting techniques right from the start, plus work with a mentor every step of the way. Cash flow strategies such as wholesaling can get running momentum right away, while we continue to mentor you on rehabbing and 10 other profitable niches in the real estate market. We'll joint venture with you on your deals and sell them with our over 8,000 contacts email list. We also focus you on building a giant buyers list, so you don't have to split deals with anyone. You'll have your accountability partner's phone number for access when you need us, weekly webinars with questions answered, and updates on market changes for students. Now you have a chance, just like many of our students, to move into a millionaire or multimillionaire status. Simply call the office at 305-758-3133 and set an appointment to see us in person or by telephone.
I'm Dave Dinkle, and this is Dreia's virtual deal talk for March 18th, 2020. So what we're going to cover tonight is answering the question, are big wholesale profits still available to investors? Here are two very, very recent deals and a hybrid transaction. These actually took place last week. One of the sources of deals that's becoming more and more prominent have been land transactions. If you're thinking about doing vacant lots, make sure that they're buildable. If they're not, you can still put them under contract and try and sell them to the owner of the property on the left or the right or behind the property. Don't know what they'll use it for, but everybody wants the American dream of lots of land. Typically, if you're not parking junk cars on it, you have to mow it. This will be familiar for you who have seen this before. What I do is I take the HUD closing statements, ALTA closing statements, settlement statements, or whatever they're called by the closing agents. I typically cut them in half if they're too big to put on one slide, take out the pertinent information of the individuals involved. But because I'm the transactional funder, I have access to both the A to B legs and the B to C legs. So this is the A to B top half, A being the original seller, B being the investor buyer. As you can see here, he buys this piece of, oh, by the way, raw land for $25,000. There's nothing else pertinent on the top half of the A to B HUD. So we're going to look at the A to B HUD bottom half. A couple of pertinent things here. First of all, there's no earnest money deposit. Now, this is not one of our preferred closing agents who allows us to use the same earnest money deposit over and over again for multiple offers. This is totally a different closing agent. Didn't require an earnest money deposit on the contract. There's the transactional funding needed. So this investor needed $25,772.01 to be able to close this A to B transaction. I closed it for him by putting up 100% of the cash from borrower that's due at closing. Left-hand side of the HUD statement is always the buyer side. Right-hand side is the seller side. Shortly, you'll see on the B to C, he is on the right side or the seller side of the transaction. So this is the B to C top half. There's the sale price, $145,000. Now, why would somebody pay $145,000 for something he could buy for $25,000? Because they couldn't buy it for anything less and they needed it. What we do as investors, we solve problems that people have. In this case, the developer had a problem. He wanted the land and couldn't get it. Now, this is the bottom half of the B2C HUD, and this is where the important numbers come out. First of all, no earnest money deposit. Had the end buyer walked away, the B investor had no earnest money up either, so he wouldn't have lost anything. But typically, we always ask for more money from the end buyer than we have as the original investor purchaser. So in case the end buyer doesn't close, we still make money at the closing. Here's my transactional funds that were paid back. I have a minimum fee of $300 plus a $50 wire fee. That's what the amount is, $26,122.01. And there's the net profit, $116,144.25. How long did it take this investor to get this deal and find it, massage it, get it done? Frankly, it doesn't matter. This is a year's earnings for many, many people. Some people, it's 2 years worth of earnings. I just recently had a student say to me, I finally got this deal done. It's a probate, it's out of state, it's all the right kind of things. I have it for this price and it's worth almost 4 times as much. And she said to me, the reason I'm telling you about it is it's taken 2.5 years to finally bring it to conclusion. But I said to her, well, tell me, how many hours did you actually have invested to be able to make almost 300% on your money? And she said, well, likely 4 or 5. That's the power of 2 things, leverage and follow-up. She called me to tell me that everything I've ever said about follow-up is absolutely true. That's what got her this deal. And I will show it to you when we close on it, and it's probably going to be somewhere between $250,000, $300,000 profit with no money in the transaction. So this is our second transaction. The A to B HUD, top half, investor paid $950,000. Whoa, you're thinking to yourself, well, geez, $950,000, of course. You buy a property like that, you got to make money on it, not necessarily. And of course, this investor had no money going into the transaction. So I was called in to do transactional funding. Now let's look at the bottom half of the A to B HUD. This is very important. Boom, $45,000 earnest money deposit. And you're thinking, Dave, you said no earnest money deposit on the last one. Can't do a non-earnest money deposit transaction on every deal. However, if you came to me and said, Dave, I've got this transaction, I'm going to make this much money, would you put up the earnest money deposit? My immediate answer would be no. And you would say, why not? And the reason is I would have $45,000 at risk in this case. But what I tell those people, and it happens frequently, is go to friends and family members, show them the HUD statement or the contracts if that's all you have, and say, you have somebody who will put up everything but the earnest money deposit. Please help me. I'll give you X number of dollars, a % return, or if you have to, make them a minority partner in the transaction. Not 50-50, not 60-40, maybe 90-10 or 80-20 on the profit. So there's what I had to bring to closing, $918,938.69. That's what was due. If you notice down here, it says cash from buyer. In most cases, it actually calls him borrower on the HUD statements. So here's the B2C HUD top half, and here's the sales price, $1.3 million. I get these calls on a weekly basis. Dave, I saw a property listed for $1.1 million. I put in an offer for $850,000. They accepted it. Comps in the area are $1.5 million. I got a terrific deal. And I oftentimes ask, how many days was it on the market? And I get a response, well, 300. Well, there may have been something wrong with the property. The issue here is, let's say you put it under contract at $850 and you go to sell it to a cash buyer. How many days of inspection do you have so you don't have to risk your earnest money deposit? And can you find a cash buyer who will come in and put up, in this case, $1.3 million? The answer is infrequently. Does that really work? So you have to come back to the reality. I know a lot of national gurus, I've always heard this thing. It's just as easy to do a larger deal. All you have to do is add a 0 to all the numbers, or 2 zeros. That's a fallacy. I'm just telling you ahead of time. A buyer who comes in with $1.3 million is a sophisticated buyer, or he has an attorney who thinks he's sophisticated and looks to get in the road of most everything. So be very, very cautious thinking these deals are easy to do. So here's the B2C HUD bottom half, and lo and behold, there is a $45,000 earnest money deposit from the end buyer. So in the event that this end buyer didn't close and you were able to collect his $45,000 earnest money deposit and lost your $45,000, you'd still break even on the transaction. I want to warn you ahead of time. When you have transactions where the earnest money deposits are in the 20 to $100,000 range, you're not just going to have the closing agent send you a check for the earnest money deposit. We happen to use a clause in our contracts with the end buyer that says the end buyer exonerates the closing agent if he has to issue the earnest money deposit check to us, the seller, as the investor, because he didn't close timely and all that. Even with that, the closing agents don't like to issue the earnest money deposit because all they have to look forward into the future is lawsuit, and they can't win. All they can do is spend attorney's fees to protect themselves. So they throw their hands up and they say, bring me a court order to disperse the funds, and you got them. So you may have to go to court and have that done if this happens to you. That's why I'm saying these are sophisticated transactions. Don't get ahead of yourself. There's the transactional funding payback. I get 2 points over $750,000. So this payback on the transactional funding includes the original amount plus my 2 points. So here's the bottom line. The net profit shows on the HUD is $301,835.23. However, we have to subtract the original $45,000 that was put up by the investor's partner who came in to save the deal. So the net profit is $256,835.23. You say to that private money person, I'll give you a percentage of the deal. He's going to get back his $45,000, as you can see. It comes out of the 301. But let's say you gave him 50% of the profit. That's a little steep. Let's say you gave him 10% of the profit. That's $25,000 to loan you $45,000. What I'm saying is you should be able to find a private money lender who understands those dynamics. So let's talk about the hybrid transaction. I beat my brains together to put out a book and try and make realtors understand how it's legally and morally possible for them to be both the listing agent of record, to be able to take a profit by being the buyer of the property, and also to take out a buyer's agent commission in addition on the back end with the C buyer. I'm not going to go into a lot of details about it now. You can look at my book and see what's in the book, exact examples of how it's done. Feedback I've gotten is always, it's illegal, it's immoral, it can't be done. What do you think the iBuyers are that every major brokerage firm in the United States has one of their own, or they are in partners with another one of the iBuyers? If you look up the term iBuyers on Google, you'll see that it says iBuyers are investors. Oh, gee whiz, they're also owned by the brokerage firms as well as separate ones. Just recently, a student called me from another state. He was going to a training at Keller Williams, and he asked these fabled questions like, can I be an investor and also be a listing agent? The guy who was teaching a class said, absolutely not. It's illegal, it's immoral, it's this, it's that. Frankly, what happened is before he went to the meeting, he asked me these pertinent questions. He read the hybridism book, and he loaded himself up with, why can't we do this? Give me the reason. So when the proctor was backed into a corner, he finally said to him, look, what about these iBuyers? And the proctor started giving him a bunch of excuses about, well, they don't use our state contract. They do use the state contract. Well, they're not licensed as brokers. No, they are licensed as brokers. Well, they're not helping people. Then why would Keller Williams have a subsidiary that's not helping people? And you're telling me it's illegal. And he said that's the end of the discussion on iBuyers and whether or not you can be an investor as well as a listing agent or a buyer's agent. Boom. Door was slammed on the meeting for that. That's the kind of hysteria that's gripping these licensed agents, and they just don't understand what's going on. So check out the hybridism book and figure out how you can do it legally. Being a licensed agent for many, many years was the biggest handicap in the world. Frankly, I started a business. One of my sub-S corps is called Heritage Realty Services. And I thought, boy, that brings me right into what I do for the industry as investors and so on and so forth. And what happened is, it was the worst thing I ever did in terms of picking a name. People would say to me when I walked in, you're a realtor, aren't you? Like it was a disease. I'd say, no, why do you say that? They said, look, it says realty in your name. And agents would say to me, you can't use that word realty because it's illegal outside of being a realtor to use the name. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, and it's taught by people who aren't actually in the business anymore and staying up to date with changes in the marketplace. This is a typical hybrid transaction, coincidentally by a broker who does them on a routine basis. Purchase price, $274,000. A to B HUD bottom half. Oh my gosh, no earnest money deposit. your proctor at the real estate school is going to say to you, if you don't have an earnest money deposit, you don't have a valid contract. Well, that may be true, but in the bigger analysis, when a case like this actually goes to court, the courts have ruled that the benefit of buying the property is in fact the benefit that could be cash or other benefits. So I'm not going to get into that discussion because it depends on what your contract says. More importantly, this is the amount of money that the broker needed, $284,375.06. No money in the transaction. That's what I put up for him. So here's the second page of the A to B HUD. This is very important. This is what's most important to agents who are making a commission. Boom, he made a $16,440 commission. If you notice up here, it's 6% of the purchase price. Very simply, exactly what it's supposed to be. So now we're going to look at the B2C HUD top half. He sold it for $295,000. Is that a giant spread? It doesn't matter. Don't get overboard about, well, he didn't make enough money on this. He didn't. Look, he's doing what you should be doing, and you're afraid to do it because you don't understand how to do it legally. So here's the hybrid B2C transaction bottom half, $5,000 earnest money. That's exactly what should happen. So in the event he doesn't close the A to B leg, he has no earnest money deposit up, and he gets back the B2C or C buyer's $5,000 earnest money deposit. Still makes money without ever closing both transactions. Remember on the HUD statement, the left side is the buyer side, right side is the seller side. So this is the investor on the right-hand side selling the property. There's the transactional funding as part of the costs and expenses on page 2 of the HUD. That's the net profit, $8,525.25. Again, B2C HUD page 2, what every realtor looks for because that's where he makes his living, $8,850. But let's look at the summary of the two legs plus the profit spread. The A to B leg at $16,440, the seller's agent commission or listing agent's commission, plus $8,525.75 profit on the B2C leg. Now that's the profit from the ownership of buying it and selling it on the same day as an investor, plus $8,850 buyer's agent commission. Who did he charge the buyer's agent commission to? He has built, as you should, a buyer's list of cash buyers who are investors and rehabbers. Net result, $33,815.75. Net profit, or 12.3% commission total. If you're a licensed agent and making 2.5% to 3% or whopping 6% every once in a while, this is an example of a smaller net profit on a transaction where, in this case, the listing broker owned the property for 20 minutes or an hour in between selling it from the seller and the purchase by the end buyer. And if you're still saying to yourself, I can't believe it's real, you're taking advantage of the seller. These are for special situations only, which is what the iBuyers look for. And if you look at their commission to begin with, it starts out at the lowest I've seen is 7%. The highest I've heard of is 15%. And you're used to getting 5 or 6. What's the difference with those guys and how can they do it? In their own words, they look for sellers who want convenience and speed. And that's what they offer. That's also what investors offer. My name is Dave Dinkle. I look very much forward to seeing you at the next meeting if we don't go virtual again. But Jim, you can take it back now. Thanks very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Dave. And one of the things that Dave said that's really important is that we're in the business every day. And that's important to you as members of Dreia and participants. We want to see you again soon at Miami Shores Country Club or here in this venue. I also want to thank our Steven Spielberg for tonight, Francisco Mago of RIAFAX, who's helping us get it all together. You know, Dave always talks about having different arrows in your quiver. And a student texted me today to say, hey, Jim, does this mean because we're talking about commercial real estate, we're all supposed to switch because houses are slow? Well, houses may not be slow in the next few weeks or the next few months. So just hang on. The answer is no. I don't want you all to switch to commercial real estate. But there are plenty of our attendees who are interested in commercial real estate. And we wanted to take some of the mystery out of it. It really isn't complex. And one of the best people I know to explain that is Terry Hale, who is from California and joining us from there, but he buys in Florida, he buys all over the United States. So Francisco, help me turn it over to Terry Hale and welcome Terry.
Thank you guys for being on.
Perfect, Eric.
All right, so is that good? Can you see my screen and see me?
Perfect.
All right, hello everybody, good evening. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me, see the visual here, how to make money with commercial real estate. And just take a few seconds here and just talk a little bit about myself. Todd, will you do me a favor and shut off those windows, a little background noise.
Terry, you're good. Keep going.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So quick little intro that I want to talk about is how much experience one has to be able to sit here and teach a systematic approach. And I've been around the block for quite a while, and because you guys are out there in Florida, I just mentioned to you that back in, I believe it was 2003, I co-authored a book with this gentleman out in Jacksonville. Many of you guys know who Ron LeGrand is. And whether you like him or don't, it's totally irrelevant, right? I'm just mentioning that I've been around for a really long time before there was a lot of these gurus and speakers and trainers and people sharing strategies and techniques. I was seeked out because I was doing commercial. And I was, of course, in younger man's clothes back then. I'm going to be 47 this year. So age is just a number for everybody that is joining here tonight. It doesn't matter where you started in your real estate or your entrepreneurial business. You can jump into commercial and you can start now. You can do that. There's a wonderful way that I put together. It's a systematic approach on how to actually make money with commercial real estate. And this spans across all different types of property. It's not just one. So hopefully that's a nice, clear, straight to the point little overview of who I am and my background experience. I've handled over 4,000 doors in my investing career, and it's growing. I have 4 projects under contract currently. The last project that actually was purchased and sold was in a place called Yukon, which is right out of Oklahoma City. I tied that project up with a client that brought it to me. We tied it up for $285,000, and it's a 235 unit storage facility. A 283 unit storage facility. Thank you. My acquisition team member is sitting next to me, Todd. So he's just giving me the right numbers. I work on a lot of numbers with a lot of deals. So I want to give you the right facts. That deal, we turned it within 10 days, wholesaled it, and we sold it for $515. So that netted us like around $240,000. So if that's something that's like right now, you're like, oh, $240,000 in 10 days. Yeah, because commercial is just a different vehicle. It's just a different type of property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you guys here through this training. And if you guys have any questions, stay to the end. I'm going to open it up for Q&A, and hopefully Jose or Francisco or Viju or Jim, any of those guys can just let me know what questions you guys have. And I'm an open book, so any questions that you do have, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And hopefully you guys can all see me too, because I have a whiteboard behind me and I like to use my whiteboard through my presentation. So go ahead and make sure that you take notes. These calls actually go pretty fast. We're scheduled to go just under an hour, but these calls tend to go real fast, okay? And I tend to talk a little fast, so I'll try to slow it down for you too, all right? So there's 6 steps in the deal. The first step obviously is to find the right deals. And by finding them, that means that you're actually going to harness some knowledge and get out to the marketplace, both online and offline, and locate these projects. These projects are all around us. You don't have to do them just in your backyard. You're not restricted just to stay right here in the Florida market. I'm very, very active in the Florida market, and I'm also active across the nation in emerging markets. Before you can get out there and actually find these deals, you have to have that knowledge, because if any of you have experienced going on websites like LoopNet, Crexy, CityFeet, what's that? Argus, of course. Any of these websites that are out there, you guys have probably maybe experienced a little frustration, because going out there and just looking for projects and not knowing what you're looking for can be frustrating. So what you need to do is have the knowledge to be able to pre-screen the facts, right? The facts. So there's 5 things that you need to know before you'd ever want to know anything else. And I'm simplifying this with commercial real estate. So with the 5 things, the first thing that you want to know is the true asking price. And by determining what they're truly asking, are they on a fishing expedition? Are they just trying to reel you in with a high price, trying to sell on future value? Or what is the purchase price? Are they truly going to be motivated? Okay, that's one thing. The second thing here is going to be the as-is value. And to determine that as-is value, you need to know what the current net income is. So you got all the gross income, then you have the itemized expenses, then you're left over with something called the net. That's the net operating income. Now, a lot of these investors, they get out there and they use something called a capitalization rate formula. And they're buying property on a cap rate, all right? Now, if this is elementary for some of you big players, your big commercial guys out there, don't worry. There's a lot you're gonna learn here too, both for the beginners and the advanced, okay? But I have to make sure I'm fair for everybody. Calculating the actual cap rate is very simple. You take all the gross income, like I said, you look at the itemized expenses, then you end left over with the NOI. And the formula is very simple. It's NOI divided by the purchase price, meaning their asking price, the purchase price. The NOI divided by the purchase price, which equals a double digit or a single digit number referred to as a capitalization rate. And that double digit number is great for us when we buy, because that means that it's going to be higher. We want to buy like on a 10 cap, 9 cap, 8 cap, and it can be an 8.5, it can be an 8.3, right? With the single digit, that means the cap rate's going to be lower when you start getting into like 3 caps, 4 caps, 5 caps. Like I'm here in Malibu, California, and everything out here is extremely inflated as far as values are concerned. And that means that if they're going to be selling something, they're going to sell at a very low cap rate. So when we buy on that cap rate formula, what we do is we gauge and we use a 10 cap formula across the board when we actually figure out what the as-is value is, because we buy on 10 cap formula. And if some of you guys are like, what, you buy on 10 cap formula? The numbers that I just disclosed on that property, it had very low income. It wasn't completely vacant, but it had very low income, sitting at like 30% economic occupancy. And because of that reason, it didn't qualify for bank financing. So it was very easy for us to evaluate that property and offer a low purchase price. And again, we wholesaled it, made close to $250,000, okay? So that's the second thing. The first is the asking. Here, I'll use my whiteboard. Hopefully, again, you guys can see me clearly on here. So the first thing is going to be the asking, okay? That's what they're actually asking for the property. The second thing is the as-is value, okay? And that's as-is, where is in its current state and its current condition. The third thing, guys, is going to be the ARV, meaning after repaired value, ADV for after developed value. This is income producing. This one is for land. We do all commercial property types. I'm not one of these, call me if you want to refer to me as like a guru, which I'm not. I don't consider myself a guru. I never have. I'm an investor. I'm a facilitator. I'm a transactioneer. Isn't that a cool word? I'm someone that's out there. I'm a family man. I have high level of integrity. I don't expect anything to be given to me. I'm here to do business with good people, and I'm actually solving problems. And in commercial, there's 2 sides of a piece of paper. One side is a liability, meaning it's not income producing, it's no good, no bueno. The other side is it's an asset, and that means they're going to be selling it at high top dollar. We're not looking for asset class property. We're not looking for property that's already operating its highest and best. We're looking for problematic situations where, like the last 2 that we have under contract, they were both mom and pop self-storage facilities, okay? And they're both suffering from lack of management, marketing, and good old chutzpah. That's energy, right? The good old chutzpah, okay? So this is ARV and ADV. The next is going to be the loans. That's the loan amount. What do they owe? The reason why we need to know what they owe on the property, guys, is because we want to know what it's truly going to be worth at its highest and best use. And what do they owe, meaning will they carry paper? There's 2 ways that we buy them. All cash lowball offers or seller financing, okay? Now, if something doesn't qualify for bank financing, that's the only 2 strategies. We lowball it, or what we do, like one we just talked about, Todd and I, right before this call, it's a $1.1 million deal, and Todd's like, that's way too much money for that property. It's over 300 units, it's off market. But you know what? I was explaining to Todd that at its highest and best use, it's going to be worth close to $2,850,000. So there's plenty of meat on the bone, right? Chew that meat, right? That's money in your pocket. That's money in your pocket for you, for your family, financial security. That's what this is all about. If you're not into making money, you're on the wrong call. This is all about making ridiculous amounts of money because of the vehicle we drive, right? If you're in a vehicle that's only going to yield you $30,000 or $50,000, or you're into like that, internet marketing stuff or MLM or, cryptocurrency or whatever you're in, there's people making money in that stuff, but it's far and few. There's more millionaires across the nation. Over 90% of the multimillionaires across this beautiful nation of ours, guess what? they made money in commercial real estate. And now people are freaking out because of this coronavirus. I got to tell you something, guys. We don't take advantage of anybody, but I'll tell you, this is the time that you thrive and live and change your story. This is the time. We are getting more submissions on qualified off-market deals where people see the writing on the wall. And if their tenants aren't paying, we can take them over. And people buy these things to hold. And they're going to rock right through this so-called recession that's happening. And when they come out, they're going to come out like a shining star. And you guys can do the same business. You can do the same exact thing that I'm doing with just a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of energy and a little bit of action. Okay. Lastly, guys, last one is repairs. Okay. Now, this last deal that we're looking at, the one that's just mentioned, over 300 units, it's got 50 roll top doors that are banged up that need to be replaced. So, hey, that's part of the deal. That's you guys in the house buying business. When you have a house that needs to be rehabbed and you need to fix some things, you need a new roof, right? This is a lot like that. This is just part of the expense that comes along with it. So you see, once you harness a little bit of knowledge here, what I just taught you guys, these 5 wonderful things: asking, as is, ARV, ADV, after repair value, after develop, loan and repairs, those 5 things that I just taught you, and now you go and you look for those 5 things and you're on LoopNet or what have you, you're going to be one step ahead to understand how to pre-screen for profit. The next is to evaluate for the right terms. And when we're actually evaluating these deals, that's what Todd, that's what Chris, that's what my team does in-house. And we sit around this wonderful metal table that I'm sitting at right here. And we do this multiple times a day, and we call it deal flow. And what we do is the cash call. And then we pick up the phone and I actually smile and dial, right? Money call. Yeah, the money call, right? And with that money call, it's all about just dialing for dollars. The same thing that you guys are doing. We talk direct with owners. We talk with brokers. It's really one of these things where you don't have to get out there and be an expert for years to do this business. Once you have the knowledge here and you know what to ask for and you know how to articulate the right message, then what you're doing is you're structuring for multiple exits. You're actually setting these deals up saying, okay, here's one exit, take it and wholesale it. Here's another exit, take it and keep it for long-term appreciation play. There's multiple exits and multiple ways to structure. And then what you got to do is negotiate. And if you're a little challenged with the negotiation, I got something amazing for you a little later that I'm going to explain exactly how I engage with all you good folks across the nation, not just in Florida, but I'm addressing you guys here at this virtual meeting. I was, as many of you know, I was supposed to be in Fort Lauderdale this next week. And unfortunately, because of this coronavirus situation, we had to cancel it so that way we all stay a little healthier, right? So be safe, and I hope that you and your family stay safe, okay? I want to get that message to you as well, all right? Spread the love for you. We negotiate these deals for terms, and then what we do is we facilitate the team. Everything that I do is the front 3. We find them, we pre-screen them, or we evaluate these deals. Then we move it forward. Once it's truly going to have value add and a good play, then we structure them for the right exit. We negotiate, and then we facilitate the team, bringing on the professionals. That's how it works in my world. We're not doing management or any of this stuff. Now, I'll talk about people that naturally make excuses because lack of knowledge, and that's something that a lot of us do. If we have lack of knowledge, we make excuses to get out of something because we're not comfortable. One of the main things that I hear all the time is cash and credit. And all you need to do is just self-educate, because once you do that and you harness the knowledge, you're unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. You can be unstoppable too. And all of the things that we do, regardless of where your credit is today, you're never going to have to put up your financials. You're never going to have to show credit. That 3-digit number, your FICO score, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, those 3-digit number, it's never going to affect you. I had something called ineffectiveness when I first started out. And I humble myself by saying this because I want to let you know that you can do this business the wrong way, 100%. And the way you do it the wrong way is to get out there and personally guarantee. You see, all of our deals are all non-recourse seller financing. Okay. Now there's 2 ways to do this business, as I mentioned. One is to do a deal from A to Z for the biggest profits. That means that we close it. We take advantage of the appreciation over time. Because you know what? If you had a time machine, let's say it was a hot tub time machine, right? And you're going to jump inside that hot tub time machine, okay? You're going to click the bubble button, and all of a sudden you're going to go back 20 years. How much commercial real estate are you going to buy? The answer is as much as you can get your hands on. And then what happens when you click the next button, the forward button, and now you're back into today, reality, on what you did in the past, the seed you planted. So today you can sit under that shady tree, right? And hang out and have a nice cold beverage, right, of choice. Here's a fact. The fact is, time's going to go regardless of what you do today. The next 10 years is coming with or without you. The next 20 is coming with or without you. So what you do today in the next 10 to 20 years, playing that appreciation, holding on to these properties, taking these properties and holding on to them for long-term financial gain. There's that appreciation. A 10 unit, 20 unit, 50 unit, 160 unit that we're working on right now, multifamily. Hey, that multifamily, I mean, what we're buying it for today, it's going to be worth a lot more. We're getting it for like $5.5 million, and the ARV on it is 16.5. The guy said 18, but we crunched our own numbers and found out that it was like 16.5. Still plenty of meat on the bone again, right? Everyone eats. It's a beautiful thing, right? Second way is to find them and assign them for the fastest profits. You want $250,000 in the next 10 days? Is that appealing to you? Well, not to all. Some people want $500,000. Some people want to do like my client Jeff. He tied up a tract of dirt with some income producing assets on it. And he stands to make $1.3 million. And those are real numbers, $1.3 million. Become a multimillionaire. Why just become a millionaire? You see, commercial is different because of that vehicle that we drive. We're just in a bigger situation to do bigger numbers. It's just adding zeros. Why be scared of it? Your number's going to be up one day just like mine. And I just disclosed that I'm going to be 47 this year. And age is just a number, but this is your story. I got a good rock solid 10 years left in my investing career. And I tried to retire once because I thought I had enough. And then my son, his name is Cash. Of course, his name is Cash. He's 7 years old. What else would I have named my son, right? So beautiful thing. And this is like real time stuff, guys. I'm not being rude by picking up my phone. I was going to show you a picture of my son, but instead, I just want to show you this right here. This is real time today, and my time is 4:48. Okay, and it says just sent over purchase contract for Oklahoma. Let me know if you'd like any changes. Thanks. And this is real time. This is business that's happening right here, right now. So the real reason why I picked up the phone was to show you my cute little son. There's Cash right there. There's me and my wife, Lisa Marie from Brooklyn. Of course, her name's Lisa Marie. She's from Brooklyn. What else would her name be, right? All right, I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am, but guys, commercial is different. You can do this business. And the long-term profit formula is super cool. You go and you find a deal, just like you're doing the residential house buying business. And by the way, the two complement one another. I'm not saying don't do any more business in the real estate career, right, for your house buying business. This just enhances it. Think about the confidence that you'd have closing a multi-million-dollar project and then going back to talking to someone about a house. Imagine what your confidence is going to be, right? You get it? It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. You're going to be a rock star, okay? You find a deal, you negotiate it. So now you're finding using your eyes, right? Your eyes that you're blessed to have. Then you're negotiating with your brain and your mouth that you're also blessed to have. And then what we do is we hire the professionals to let them do what they do best while we focus on what we do best. And we fill vacancies. And then we keep it, as I just mentioned, appreciation's one. That's the main one. And here's why. If you do a 10-year seller finance deal, we got 1 year to 10 year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. What is that property going to be worth? Think about that appreciation factor. Just appreciation. Forget just the cash flow, right? Forget the monthly cash flow. Like, how can you forget it? Right? That's financial security. Like, some of you guys are cost conscious. Like, maybe you go to a restaurant and you sit down and you're really focused on the right side of the menu. And what's on the right side of the menu? That's the prices, right? The left side of the menu is what dictates what you're going to put in your mouth and your belly. That's your food, your fuel. It's your God-given right to live life in abundance. I figured that out, and I took advantage of it because it's just a story on why you're here, maybe a story on why you're not as wealthy as you want to be, maybe a story on why you're working too hard as they stepping over the dollars to pick up the dimes, right? You guys probably heard that. The appreciation is a huge factor, but then there's also several others like depreciation, that cash flow that I mentioned every single month. Remember when I did my first deal, it was like $23,000 in change coming through the door every single month. And you know what? I'd spend it until I realized that making dollars and spending pesos is way smarter. And you can make so much money in this business, you can still live like a king or queen and still have the opportunity to take windfalls of capital. You see, because what we're doing is we're taking these buildings right here. This is all commercial real estate is right here. This is all it is. You want to know what commercial real estate looks like? You want me to sit here and talk about deals and show you deal after deal after deal? Well, isn't that the way they do it now? They still do that, right? Because a lot of these guys learned from me, right? And I used to do that, right? Just sit here and I do testimonial deal, boring, boring, boring. Teach me something. That's what I'm doing now, right? So you want to see what commercial real estate looks like? I'll take you around the office. As soon as I verify that everybody can see me and just not the screen and you can actually see me, that'd be a wonderful thing if somebody could just chime in and let me know just if everybody can see me while I'm on video. That would be great. I'd appreciate it. But this right here, here's commercial real estate. If you can see this, this is the box. And then here, this is your three-dimensional view, okay? That's your 3D view, okay? It's just a box. Now this box, you fill it. That's what you do, all right? You fill the box, and then when you're actually filling that box, you have an opportunity to make money over and over again, which is really great, okay? I'm gonna text these guys. Can everyone see me okay, all right? So by texting them, hopefully they will answer me, all right?
Yeah, Terry, we can see you.
Good.
And people on their home computers can enlarge your picture, so go right ahead.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad all you guys can see me. Well, here, cheers to you. I'm gonna have another sip of my Gatorade. I'm glad you guys can see me. Here's the box. What we do, we go back to the other version here. This is way too advanced for right now. The 3D version, way too. You like that talk? Yes. Okay, I figured you did. That's the best sarcasm I have. All right, so here's your box. What we're doing here is we're actually buying it here. This is your occupancy, okay? We're buying it with low occupancy, guys, and then the whole upside. You want to talk about upside? We're buying property that does not qualify for bank financing. So again, two ways to buy it, all cash or seller financing. So here's the beautiful thing. This is all the upside, right? So while we fill it, and now it's full, we're making money. Now what happens, how do really wealthy people stay wealthy? How does this work? Tell me. Here it is. What they do is something called the 1031 exchange. But before they do that, they refinance the property. When they refinance the property, what they're actually doing is they're doing a cash out refi. Cash out refi. And when they do that cash out refi, all that money that they take out, they do not pay taxes on it just yet. Okay? It's net spendable cash. It goes into HIP National Bank. And then the beautiful thing, what happens from there is they actually take it, and when they go to sell it, they still don't pay taxes because they do a 1031 exchange. And now what they do is they just go over and they buy something that looks like this, which is a little bit larger, and maybe an A class or a B class. That means the location, the size of the property, the year of bill, the current condition. All these factors go into how they classify whether it's a class C, B, or A. Okay, and then what happens, guys, is you're just off to the bank. You know, you get your money that goes in your pocket, and then now you're playing that appreciation and keeping it. All right. So that's kind of a longer play. That can be something like a 12-month deal or an 18 or 24-month, and then you just ride it out. You just have that cash flow for the next 20, 30 years. Great. Then there's the quick profit formula. So let me switch gears here and erase my scribble scrabble, okay? And the quick profit formula, which is so great too, is it's a lot like the same. You find it, you negotiate it, right? So now what you do is you actually use your eyeballs, like I said, and flap your lips. But then what we do is we position it to the actual end user, and then we sell it at that point for 6-figure or even 7-figure paydays. That's huge. And then what it is everybody's washing their hands now, right? So it's a rinse and repeat model, right? Everybody's washing their hands. You like that? Yeah, it's a good transition. All right, it's my witticisms. So how to identify the right deal, guys? What are we doing? So one of the things we're not doing is moving forward on the wrong properties where they're asking all cash, where there's no discounts, where they're wanting us to pay for potential. So there's something called pro forma. That's the future value, right? So when we talk about pro forma, what they're doing is they're saying, look, it's worth this because the NOI is down here. This is what it's actually worth today. But in the future, at its highest and best use, it's going to be worth all this money in the future. So guess what, Terry? We want you to pay for potential, hope, speculation. At that point, I'm like this and out the door. I know that looks fun. It looks funnier on the video than from here. But so we don't buy on hope, speculation, or future value. Absolutely not. No way, right? That's the future value. And then, of course, where they won't leverage and then they won't budge. They won't leverage and they won't budge. Another deal we put under contract, funny story. It's a 320 unit. It's off market. And I offered 525. The other broker came back to my buyer's broker, and this was an off-market deal. They were yet to put it on, and the guy knew that we were actually looking for property, so they decided to call and present it to us, and that happens quite often because they want real players before they put it on LoopNet or wherever. They want to offer it to their buyers list, and we were top of the buyers list. So at that point, what was great was we asked them if they would take 5.25. They said, well, why don't you come to 550? That looks like a better number. And the property, like the last one I was talking about, is close to $3 million in upside because of the current occupancies. This one's sitting very, very low, very low. Then they countered back at 700,000. The reason why they countered back at 700,000 was because in the past they had $1 million offer on it because they were going to demo the storage facility and actually put a hotel there. But then what happened was when they went down to the city, the local municipality, they said, sorry, we don't want a hotel there. And they denied them. So then they backed out. So these guys had this offer, two elder gentlemen, then they have this offer for $1 million. They have it in their mindset that it's worth $1 million. So we're still pursuing it under the 700,000, but that'll be a wholesale project, which is great. And we'll wholesale that to an end buyer, and that'll move very quickly. So real deals, the real deals are when there's a story and we get to the story and we understand the reasons why they're actually selling, and they have to sell, not just want to sell. They have to sell, not just want to sell, right? And then at that point, the properties with equity that we close on, or we can create equity from actually getting in there and filling the vacancy, raising the rents, adding profit centers, stabilizing the property. Those are the beautiful deals. Those are the easy deals. It's just like a relationship, you know. When you first start out, you know, you want to make sure that that relationship continues and that it doesn't become one of these edgy relationships, right? So you got to make sure that when you're forward thinking, it's all about negotiating the right terms, because a lot of times you can't go back and renegotiate. Okay. All right, cool. So with that, motivated creative sellers. All right, willing to give terms, right? They're willing to give terms, and for that, we're in a key position because we can actually get in there and we can look on the right properties and focus on the right properties. All right, so properties most investors focus on, the ones that are out there, the ones that you hear about, you know, all these gurus that are out there that are talking about apartments and self-storage and mobile home parks. Those are the main three, right? You guys have probably heard it to your blue in the face. Apartments, meaning multifamily, self-storage, mobile home parks, all the time. Right? You guys hear that. But what properties others actually don't focus on, these other ones that are most overlooked, are the ones that are like low-hanging fruit. And why the low-hanging fruit is, well, look at what Bezos has done with Amazon, right? He's putting these mom and pops out on the street, retail, shopping centers, office buildings, industrial, because people aren't bringing in goods. They really aren't bringing in goods now. Nothing's being brought into the stores or anything, right? So again, don't worry. I know it's a crazy time. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know when it's going to end, but I know that it will end. And you want to be on the other side of the fence when it ends. Okay? You want to be on the right side of the fence. I'm not talking right or left. I'm just saying the right side of the fence. You want to be in a position where you can take advantage of opportunity. And opportunity is huge when things like this happen. Like, you know what Warren Buffett always says. I've learned a lot from Mr. Buffett over the years. And I call it Buffettisms. And what Buffett says all the time is like, look, you know, when people become greedy, then you become fearful. And when people become fearful, then at that point you can be greedy. And what are people going to be now? Greedy or fearful? Well, maybe in the house buying business, you guys would be greedy. Maybe in my point of business, if you want to call it greedy. But the masses that I'm talking about, guys, the masses are going to be fearful. They don't know what's going to happen. Everything is like crazy between, if you want to call it fake news or media hype and everything else that's going on, right? It's craziness. So focus on the low-hanging fruit. Focus on the deals that we can really move in on. The properties like the retail, the shopping centers, these office buildings and industrials I just mentioned. Not only that, people that are behind on taxes, people that are sitting here with these properties are in need of rehab, and people are struggling. These folks that are behind on payments, you know, I mentioned that you don't need any of your own personal capital or your personal credit. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing something totally different, and not even business credit. We're doing something totally different. Talk about business credit. What's so great about this business as well is a lot of times what we're doing is we're not, whenever you buy property, right, it gets reassessed for taxes. Well, a lot of times what we're doing is we're actually buying an LLC. So we just go and buy the business, and the business owns the boxes, right? The business owns the boxes. So that's a beautiful thing. And if they're in great credit standing for the last 10 or 15 years, mom and pop, well, it's very easy to go and take out business credit at that point. It's very simple. It's based on the P&Ls, the profit and loss statements. It's based on the status of the actual LLC in the company. So you don't need management skills. And you're never going to manage property. That is the true kiss of death. We're not doing management ever. That is a waste of time. You're either overqualified or underqualified. Regardless, if you follow my systematic approach to do this business, you're not going to be managing the property, all right? We hire people to do that. It's kind of like moving, right? You don't borrow a truck from your buddy and go and box your stuff up. You call a company and you have them come out white glove service and move your things, right? We're better than that, okay? The long-term profit formula is really, really a beautiful thing. I know that some of you guys are asking, you know, questions, and I see that the thing's toggling, so I'm sure there's a lot of questions coming in, and you guys can flow those questions at the end. So if you are asking questions, or the moderator can go back, Viju, Jim, or Francisco or Jose, they can go back in there and they can pull those questions. But I know a question that you guys are already asking is, Terry, tell us how to find these deals. Where's the deals? Where's the deals? Where's the deals? I'll give you a tip. Hard money lenders are easy to reach. They're truly easy. They're motivated to get property off their books when they get it back. It's called receivership. You can be a hard money lender. I can be a hard money lender. And when mom and pop, the hard money lender, gets it back, they're willing to loan on a non-recourse structure, meaning no personal guarantee. Just ask, go over the buying criteria, talk about that. In my systems, what I have is buy criteria. That's the acquisition criteria. I also have something called pre-screening sheets and scripts on what to say to owners and brokers. And what happens is you just articulate the right way to ask these questions, and you put it on the pre-screening sheet. And my acquisition team, we review these deals, and it's something truly that you could be a part of, which is an awesome opportunity. So hard money lenders are small companies. They're out there. They need you more than you need them. They need you more than you need them. So truly, you can get out there and just cherry pick. And not only just with hard money lenders, but owners as well, guys. They're desperate beyond belief. They're losing everything from just their house, their personal home, to commercial. Baby boomers are facing health issues. Yeah, especially now, you know, just especially now. Distressed owners will gladly finance you. They will. And you know what? All the time that you're going to be, we call it quarantined or whatever, or taking the right path of relaxing, regrouping your thoughts, thinking about your story, thinking about what you want. And now we have some downtime. It's going to be a little quiet. People are going to be out there with uncertainty. Well, you know, I know all you guys want certainty. I'll tell you what we're doing. We're buying property like a bat out of hell is what we're doing. And you can do that too. And with the right systematic approach, you can use the right tactics and strategies to move forward and, again, do the rinse and repeat model, right? Rinse and repeat model. So the old way, you need massive credibility and a history of ownership. That's what prevents most people from doing commercial or even thinking about it. You got to show personal financials, tax returns, bank statements, credit reports, or any assets that you own. Then personally guarantee the loan and make it so so you're presenting yourself in a way where you're packaged like a lender, right? You need to be packaged. But what happens, more than likely, they're going to want you to cross-collateralize any other assets, putting them at risk too, like your personal home or the lake house or the beach house or whatever condo you may own somewhere else. Whatever, if it's got value, they're going to want to know about it, and they're going to want you to go ahead and pledge that so it lowers their risk. There's the new way. It's predictable, it's simple, it's highly effective, and guys, if you do it right, it'll produce more income than you ever dreamed possible. But this is not a dream, this is reality. This opportunity presents itself in many different ways. But there's a reason why I was planning to be in Florida. There's a reason why I'm on this virtual training. There's a reason why you're here right now. And you know, maybe you've been doing too much work and being paid too little. That's a reality, okay? So the new way is right here, a system from start to finish, averaging 8 weeks or less. You go and you find, you pre-screen, you evaluate, you structure, you negotiate the deal, right? And then you facilitate it. We move it forward with the new way, 8 weeks or less, 8 weeks. I had a client of mine, him and his wife, Randy and Darla. They're with us for under 60 days, And they moved forward and they closed their first commercial real estate deal. And you know what? 2 weeks later, they went and did another one. 2 weeks, another deal's under contract. They've closed that deal. Now it's 2 deals in a little over 60 days. Where are you gonna be in 60 days? What are you gonna be doing? Look, there's 2 ways to make things happen in a down market or in an unpredictable market with uncertainty, right? There's 2 ways to do it. You can sit on the sideline and you can whine and cry about it. Or what you can do is realize that opportunity is present and there's gonna be more, wait a week, there's gonna be more opportunity. Wait a week. What's gonna happen now is you can thrive. You change your story. And out of this right here, there's, mark my words, guys, mark my words. My clients, there's gonna be more multimillionaires made out of this coronavirus scenario than any other in history, including the Great Recession that just passed. Okay, this right here is your golden ticket. Your golden ticket. I'm serious. Want that fancy sports car? Done. You want that house on the beach? Done. What do you want? Black Amex card? Done. Like seriously, like I kid you not. Like you can do this business. I'm on fire. We're at my office, it's nonstop. You guys can do this business and you can take things to the next level, I'm telling you. And you know what, if you found this helpful, you're really gonna like what's next because I'm here to help. The right strategies can help you accelerate your success to make a lot more moolah and avoid expensive mistakes and pitfalls that could stop you from succeeding. You go at it alone, caveat emptor, that's Latin for buyer beware. Commercial's just different. You gotta understand the ins and the outs. I have a flawless 20 plus year experience,
20 plus year
yeah.
experience.
And this is a fact. The fact is this, guys. You know, I went into hiatus at one time. I did. I retired, and I came out of that retirement when my son was born because I knew that there was still a lot more that needed to be done, a lot more business that needed to be taken care of. And if you get out there and you fall into a pitfall, you fall into the wrong deal, that deal you can lose your shirt. And I'm just saying that. That's my disclaimer. You need to have the right strategies and the right techniques to do it. I've seen people get into commercial real estate deals and actually break even for years. Like we're not into the break even business. We're into making money business. I'm talking about a system that you can actually learn from and change your life forever. A true system, something that's real, right? And with that, I'll show you how to find the sellers that will happily give you terms for the security of monthly passive income for the rest of your life, regardless of your age, regardless of where you're at. And I can show you how to do it. And you know what? I'm not that person that's out there just teaching you onesies and twosies. I'm talking about doing all types of commercial, from apartments to self-storage, mobile home parks, office, retail, shopping centers, the entire assisted living, senior living, ambulatory care, congregate living, land, all property types of commercial. And we talked earlier about these excuses, and what I want to do is just deflate those excuses because, you know, with aggressive terms, you can get in with none of your own money or credit or previous experience, and I can show you how to do that. So this is the slide that I'm going to throw up here before I talk about what it is that we're offering. And obviously, if you've been to DREIA's website, you've seen that we're advertising this. It's not something that's hidden. We're very open about it. And this is it, guys. You get bonuses that I'm going to talk about right now. And it is the commercial cash flow system. What I did for this commercial cash flow system is I actually recorded an amazing 3-day event, and this just happened. It's fresh material. It's not old dated material. This is fresh, very fresh, right? And with that, what I did was I created the commercial cash flow system. This is the last commercial real estate training course you'll ever buy. I guarantee it, because it's that thorough. I'm not looking for codependence. I'm looking for independence. Just like Randy and Darla, they close one deal and they're off to the races on their second deal. I helped them with the first one, and now they can rinse and repeat on their own. So you can learn creative commercial cash flow acquisition strategies directly from me, and I'm here to share that with you. This is recorded in a closed door private event where I held nothing back. There's nothing held back. So on these bonuses, let me skip back. On these bonuses, what I'm doing here, hang on, this thing's freaking out a little bit. Okay, pre-written letter of intent. So what is an LOI? So how does that work? So first thing we do is we pick up the phone and we negotiate the deal. Once we negotiate that deal, we take notes. Those notes become an actual blueprint, which is referred to as a letter of intent. This is the same seller financing language on this letter of intent that produces tens of millions of dollars for myself and my clients. And now you can have that, and that value's $497. Then what I did was I put together my pre-screening sheets. These are very dear to me. I took a lot of time with these. These are the exactly tools that make sure that you're only dealing with quality deals to avoid time-wasting duds. We're not looking to do those time-wasting types of projects. Sorry about the slides, guys. I don't know. I think what's happened is because we are on this platform, Zoom. Unfortunately, it looks like mine shut down for a sec. I don't know exactly what happened there.
Yeah, share again, Terry.
Okay, it's okay. I'll just take, can you see my screen? Can you see the commercial cash flow system on there? Can you see it okay?
No.
We can see you right now.
Just me. Then I'll just talk about it. You can't see my screen?
No.
Okay, it's okay. I don't even need to show you the screen anymore. It's totally fine. What I'll do, it actually says it wants to share it. So can you see it now? Can you see the commercial cash flow system?
No.
No, you can't. What do you see?
So you.
Just me. Okay, that's fine. I don't know why it's not working, but I will, can you put up the other one? This one right here. Yeah, here, I got it. Sorry about that, guys. I always say technology is great when it works. Not that one, the other one that's got the DREIA actual website on it. Keep going. There it is right there. So this is events. This is the link. Events.DREIA. And you guys all know the website anyway, so you guys can go there. And this is .info. Okay, there it is right there. That's where you can go. Or you can also give the guys a call. I know they're probably taking calls now at 758-3133. Okay, cool. All right, so you guys see that. Okay.
Are you gonna put the URL on the chatting room?
Yeah, why don't you guys do that as well? Put the URL on the chatting room. And if you would, I can go ahead and take some questions if anybody's got questions as well. Okay. Great. Great.
Okay. I have a question here.
Yeah.
The question is, since your retirement, what is the company aggregated yearly profit? A range between a few millions, more or less?
Our goal is 2 million.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you guys an idea, I don't want to give any false information because I don't have that exactly on me, and we've done a lot of business. But just so you guys understand, our goal for this year, which we're on track to do so, is to close $2 million a month. And that may sound a lot to some of you, but it's really not. And here's why. Like if you look at some of these people that are out there doing syndication, syndication is a very big play. And people are talking about like, oh, within 36 months, I've massed 4,000 doors. You know, it's, to me, it sounds, I wouldn't say unbelievable, but I would challenge that thought. What we're doing is something different. I mean, obviously, if we're doing $2 million a month, that's 24 million in a year. That's not that much money, considering some people are out there buying hotels and big REITs are out there purchasing. This time here, obviously, that's going to expand. So where we're at right now with our initial goal for this year, which we're achieving at $2 million a month, that's gonna go up. Maybe that goes up 5 times. Maybe that goes up 8 times. Maybe it goes up 10 times or more. Not sure exactly, but we know for a fact. We know for a fact that that will be more and more opportunity will present itself for us. Okay. Is there any other questions? you hear me okay? Yeah.
I'm waiting for questions, Terry. Just give me a moment.
For sure. No problem. Take your time.
When you have a question, it's a good time. Well, someone is asking again for a price for the system. If you can talk about that a little bit more.
Sure. So I refer to this as the commercial cash flow system. There's really, like, I'm not a cost conscious person for everybody here that's present. I don't look at the right side of the menu when I sit down to put fuel in my system. And for this right here, there really is no cost. It's $997, but the reality is there's no cost. You see, because what I'm going to allow you to do is I'm going to allow you to get into this, self-educate by watching the digital delivered program. Again, you get multiple bonuses with that. A couple of the slides really didn't pop. So one of the things that you're going to get, as I had mentioned, was the letter of intent. You're going to get a pre-screening form. You're going to get the acquisition criteria. Okay. And then what you're also going to get is 2 tickets to my next live event. I am planning on coming back and addressing even this group at DREIA in the future. It's uncertain on when exactly that's going to be, but there's no doubt you're going to get 2 tickets for the $997 investment. You're going to get those 2 tickets to come and see me live in the future. And then you're also going to get an advanced strategy call too as well. And that advanced strategy call is going to be with both myself and one of my acquisition managers. And the reason for that call is to really design an action plan for you, to really push you in the right direction, to make sure that we're there for you and to make sure that we can help you in every way possible. Okay. Now here's the kicker to it. If you end up taking that pre-screening sheet and you end up submitting a quality project that makes sense, and we're able to talk about that project and move that deal forward, well, guess what? The $997, you get that $997 back, plus an additional fee for bringing a deal forward, which is great. It's an amazing opportunity. One of my clients, they just, okay, thank you. We have that slide on screen with you. That's perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I see that too as well. One of our clients just received $25,000
plus 55,
plus another $55,000. So that was a pretty big payday right there. And that was just from learning the system and applying it. So to me, I look at investing like this. Like, you invest in anything, right? Whether it's residential or commercial or this system, right? Anything that you invest in, if you're investing in it and you get an ROI, which stands for return on investment, then there's zero cost. And that's the way I look at it, because I do a lot of advertising as well for this end of the business that I'm out. I'm speaking and presenting and giving the message out to the market of what I do with commercial real estate. And I'm sure many of you guys have been to my website. And the fact is, with that, there's a cost, but it's not a cost, it's an investment, because I'm making my return back and I'm bringing people in and I'm doing business with people. And come on, you make $250,000 in, or 240,000 or whatever it is there in 10 days. I mean, is $997 really a cost? What if you just did it like the other guy, the 55 and the 25 that he made? What about that, right? So, you got to ask yourself, where's your drive? And I always say, I coin this phrase, is the juice worth the squeeze? And so if you feel like in your hearts of hearts and watching this training and seeing, my level of integrity and my credibility that I bring to the table, noting that I've been training for over 15 years and I've been out there and working this business for over 20 plus years. I'm dating myself now, right? But with a flawless career, there's an opportunity for all of you guys to be a part of something amazing. Okay, perfect. I see more questions popping through.
Yes, we have another question. It says, what size deal are you looking for per transaction?
What's that?
What size deal are you looking for per transaction?
What's that?
3 to 5, but we have a buyer right now at 10 to 15 million.
Yeah, I mean, so my buy criteria ranges typically from 300,000 to 5 million, but we have a buyer right now that's got 15 million that they're looking to play business, do business with, and they're a big player. People come out of the woodwork all the time. It's like I live in two different arenas here. I'm on the East Coast and on the West Coast, so I'm bi-coastal. But with my son being young, I decided to plant my roots out here in Malibu. But I go to Florida like all the time, and my other place is Upper West Side in New York. So my wife's from Brooklyn. So like I said, I'm in different markets, and in different markets because I'm in two of the most largest affluent areas in the nation. I tend to have a lot of money being thrown at me all the time, and I can position those end buyers. So we have a massive buyers list, and it's not your typical residential real estate buyers list. This is much different. These are people like that I surround myself around. It's really cheesy for me to say this, but I have $100 million friends, and that's the truth. That's a God's honest truth. And so because of that reason, money's readily available, and we can push these deals forward, and we get paid. Look, we're making chump change. Compared to the rest of the world, we're making chump change. I mean, really, $240,000? Like, in the big scheme of things, like, that's nothing to be afraid about. I mean, it's great money, but like $2 million a month, like, that's not what people that are out there doing this big business is like they refer to as commercial real estate. So I don't want all you guys to think that this is a big and scary position. It's the right one, okay? It's the right one. Good message, right? And because of that, we just had a deal present itself, and the reason why, I had a broker from Marcus and Millichap in Texas call me. This was just yesterday. And he said, Terry, this deal is a fit for you. And he told me all about it. And I said, well, why is it available? He's like, because the REIT couldn't perform. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. And their money comes from and is dictated by how the stock market works. So obviously when the stock tanks, then the REIT blows up. And the deal fell apart. Opportunity. Any other questions?
Yes. Joshua asks, what are the walkaway points when seeing a deal?
When seeing a deal, what are the walkaway points?
Yes.
What does he mean referred to by walkaway points?
I was wondering myself.
Yeah, walkaway points sounds to me like you would walk away from the deal. Like what would scare you to the point where you're like, oh, I got to walk away from this one, right?
Yes.
I would say walkaway points are too much rehab, properties that are over retail, all the things I kind of talked about that on deals that we pass on and deals we perform on. I mean, we're not taking over headaches that can't be cured. We're not looking to take over problematic situations where people fail to have, with your air and emissions insurance, and all of a sudden it's got a bad phase one and it's got to have a phase two and then remediation. We're not dealing with any of that stuff. We're dealing with pretty property and great locations. We're not dealing with war zones. If the pizza guy doesn't deliver after dark, guess what? We're not doing that deal. Like that. It's true though.
I've used it. I used it twice today.
You used it twice? Today? Oh, okay. I got to copyright that one.
Okay.
Guys stealing my material over here.
Terry, I have a question from Gregory Flowers.
Okay.
Do you operate your deals as an LLC or general partnership?
Great question, Gregory. Gregory, it sounds like you might be one of my clients coming forward, man. All right. Be careful, man. I'll make you very rich, very wealthy. What we do is a 3-entity tier setup if you do business with us. And the way it works is this, okay? Here's my diagram, if you can see it okay. It's right here, this diagram. Everything is done in an LLC, but this LLC is what we refer to as state specific. I wrote the word state right there, I know it's small. This LLC is referred to as the mothership. That's the one that owns this property in state specific. If it's a Florida property, it's a Florida LLC. Got it? Now, this one right here would be you, that's your LLC, and this one over here would be us, that's our LLC. This is going to be a Wyoming or Nevada state LLC, and then you would own your percentage, and then we would own a percentage if we were to partner up and do a deal together. And that can go with anybody that you do business with. So why Wyoming and why Nevada? Well, many of you smarty pants guessed it right. It's the state for anonymity, which means you remain anonymous on your entity. God forbid you drive down the street and you smash into an attorney, and the attorney's super litigious because they're an attorney, and they come after you, and they don't have to pay an attorney bill because they do it themselves. And at that point, they unravel all of your entities and they take everything. Well, with this structure, it gives you anonymity and it gives you an opportunity to do business the right way. And that is all explained in the wonderful commercial cash flow system. And take advantage of it, Gregory. I look forward to having you engage with us. All right. this is how many people are talking about this.
Okay. I have another question. This one is Nadir.
Oh, hey, Nadir. I know a Nadir. I don't know if it's the same Nadir. Go ahead.
Okay. Nadir is asking, what are the percentages as far as the exit strategies with these properties? Example, 33% wholesaling, 25% fix and flip, 20% buy and hold, etc. I would really love just to wholesale this. Get my feet wet.
I would say 80-20. 80 wholesaling, Francisco, and 20% keep for long-term hold. But they can design it any way that they want to do it. This is just how the numbers flow for us.
Okay. Wonderful. We have no more questions.
Yeah.
No more questions?
Well, we can wait for one. Any more questions, guys?
So Terry, I do have a question.
Sure.
This is Jim.
Hey,
so
Jim.
The commercial cash flow system is not just the 2 hours on Saturday. There's actually online stuff that goes with it. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That right there, the 2 hours is a bonus. I did not talk about the 2 hours, but there is a 2-hour session, and that's going to be live right here in my office. By the way, I didn't get a chance to show my office to these wonderful people. We'll show you deal flow here. By the way, I own all that commercial real estate. I'm just kidding. This is my office here. You can see we got deals all over our boards, on our walls rather. And this is Todd's office. There's the windy ocean view across the street. You can see that, guys. This is another deal that we have on the board there. There's Todd sitting here where I was sitting. This is Chris's office, and of course, Chris has a beautiful facility on his wall. This facility right here, there's about $2.7 million in that deal. This is our little podcast conference center. Here, this one is a 60-plus unit. I'll be talking about this project and sharing that as well. This is Margarita, our marketer's desk, and this is another facility here. This actually is in Florida. I shared this on the last call that we had. This is in St. Augustine. I only had this one for 6 months of operations, and then it went to a 90-day close. And I'll talk about that on the 2-hour training. I'm going to talk about this deal too, because of the way that I structured it. And I had an assumable, transferable seller finance note. So when these two guys in St. Augustine ended up buying it from me, I tied it up for $480 with a 7-year, 4.25% non-recourse seller finance note. And then I sold it, like I said, ownership of 6 months, 90-day close. I sold it for $900,000. So that was close to a $500,000 take. And then you can see there's my name, lights there. So cool. We do have another office suite next door, but the door's locked, but it's through on the other side of that glass door. Anyhow, I wanted to share that with you guys. And so the 2-hour, it'll be unscripted, it'll be straightforward, straight to the point. I'll train you guys for 2 solid hours, get you guys going, get you guys pumped, talk about deal flow, show you deals over here on the flat screen. It'll be extremely interactive. You guys will not be muted. You'll be totally unmuted. We'll all be able to talk. If you do have background noise, I'll just ask you to mute out. That's great. And then to answer your question, Jim, yes, what they do is they get the commercial cash flow system. It's my new flagship course. It's designed in a way where I trained over 3 days in different segments. So they're all 30-minute segments. Very easy to digest, very straightforward. Pan in and out, 2 cameras. It's great. It's beautiful. You guys will love it. And with that, you get the additional 4 bonuses. Like I said, you get the pre-screening sheet. You get the acquisition criteria, so you know exactly what to look for. You get the letter of intent, and then you do get a power call with myself and my team guy where we'll jump on and we'll design a plan of action. It's considered an outline. We need to understand strengths and weaknesses, see how we can help you get going even faster. So you get all of that, plus the 2 tickets to the next live event, which will also come at would be at a normal cost. But you get all those thrown in. I mean, I'm really doing a good service for everybody, helping out in these times of need for people that are going to have a lot of downtime sitting around, you know, and people say, well, how much time do you have to really put into this to have success? 2 30-minute blocks a week works. Anything more than that, you're literally gonna be staring at the screen until you go crazy. So it's not a cost. You get the $997 back if you end up doing business with me, and you get my 100% guarantee on that. And that's even on my website and provided to you guys. So if you happen to jump in and you get this going, it's $997 with all those bonuses and the 2-hour training plus the commercial cash flow system. You go to events.dreia.info. I went to the website myself. It looks a lot like this right here. That's up on the screen, right? You can see the info here.
We have it on the screen, Terry.
What's that? It's on the screen.
We have it on the screen. I have a couple more questions.
Okay, I got a couple more answers.
What if we already have commercial real estate deals that we're shopping around? Would you take a look at them?
Sure. Don't be mad if I whack them though. We call it Whack It Wednesday. So if I end up whacking the deal, I do it because I care about you. I do it because I don't want you to be wasting time. You know, time is your most precious asset, guys. You don't get any more of it. You can't go to buymoretime.com. So because of that, a lot of people look at deals and they think that they're rock solid. And then when it comes down to it, I find these little flaws in it and I educate you in regards to those flaws. And then you can thank me later and buy me a latte. Because you know what? Doing the right deals, moving forward on the right projects is everything. It's all good. The knowledge is great, guys, but here's something that I'm giving you. I'm giving you a gift because what I'm doing is I'm saying, look, I'm here absolutely crushing it, doing business already. I have my complete setup. We're immersed in this. This is what we do. This is how we breathe. This is how we eat. This is everything. And I have so much passion for this business and such a high level of integrity. I'm the guy that goes to the grocery store and I stand in line, and if the clerk hands me back an extra 20 on accident because they didn't get a lot of sleep the night before and they hand me back an extra 20, I'm the guy that gives the 20 back. I'm not the guy that wants something that I don't deserve. I don't mind working for it. I don't mind doing it the right way. And I do things the smart way. I delegate. And what I'm going to show you how to do is repeat the same thing that I'm doing. So it's a rinse and repeat opportunity. So if you have deals, I'll gladly look at them. No problem. Okay.
Terry, let's take one more question. All right.
Sure.
And you mentioned earlier that you deal with brokers and
sure.
in this business. And we're not afraid of brokers in residential or commercial, right?
Right. Brokers they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you and I, Jim.
That's right. So Robert asked this very important question that I think is on a lot of people's mind. Is the method for finding motivated commercial sellers about the same as the methods we use for finding motivated residential sellers?
Of course. I actually think this business is a lot easier. I'm not downplaying residential house buying business and you and Jim's business at all whatsoever. It actually complements one another, folks. Okay.
There's no fun in it. They only eat what they kill.
Yeah. So with brokers, as Todd was just saying, you know, they only eat what they kill. And so they're super motivated brokers, highly motivated. Look, let me explain something to you really quick, all of you. I won't go too long on this, Jim. I'll just go another minute. All right, just give me 1 minute. But if we're looking at something like this, I'll use this little section here, okay? If we're looking at something like this and the box is right here and the box is only filled, say 20%, brokers will turn you down if you try to take this project that you own that's only 20% filled. They don't want to deal with the tire kickers. They don't want to deal with people, right? They'll say, you know what? It's too distressed. I don't want to put it on my website. It's too distressed. So a lot of these projects that are out there, they get turned down and they become off-market deals. I'd say 90% of the projects, you're not going to go and find them in the same place that a lot of you guys will start off looking. But I'm the guy that'll show you how to do it. I'm the guy that'll give you the knowledge and show you how to find these off-market deals and take these opportunities and no one can find them. There's two right now that are on my phone. This contract that's sitting in my phone right now, right, is an off-market deal. There's nobody looking at it. We're not doing direct mail, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to downplay a residential, but we're not doing direct mail. We're not sending out pink postcards and yellow letters. We don't have that added expense. It's just not what we do. We're out there, we create relationships, and we explain what the criteria is. We explain that, hey, if you get one of these in your pipeline, Mr. or Mrs. Broker, you're going to call me, okay? And with that, gives us the opportunity to leverage these motivated brokers and desperate sellers and put these deals under contract and make a lot of money. So I hope you guys join me. I really do.
Well, Terry, thanks so much for taking time out of your day. I know it sounds really busy. And guys and ladies, I want you to sign up for the commercial cash flow system and watch Terry for 2 hours on Saturday. It's going to be riveting. Terry, thank you very much for being with us. Everyone else, thank you for this exciting first event with Dreia in a virtual manner. And we appreciate Terry being here with us. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.